Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. The Looney Tunes franchise has been in the headlines a lot lately, whether it be the hype surrounding The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes film which recently came out in theaters, or the news that the entirety of the original Looney Tunes has been removed from Max. There's been a lot going on with the franchise lately, and it doesn't stop there. Recently, reports have been coming out saying that Warner Brothers Discovery is looking to sell off the entirety of the Looney Tunes brand, and today in this video I want to discuss everything that's going on and why this rumor to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and if there's actually anything to this rumor. Is this something that they're actually going to explore some point down the line, and who would be a buyer for the Looney Tunes? So first and foremost, a report came out recently saying that the Looney Tunes brand is looking to get sold, and a lot of this stems from the fact that Warner Brothers Discovery took the entirety of the Looney Tunes off of Max. If you look at Max right now and you type in the Looney Tunes, the only shows that come up are Looney Tunes Cartoons, the new Looney Tunes, Baby Looney Tunes, Tiny Toons University, Looney Tunes Presents Bugs and Daffy's Thanksgiving Road Trip, the Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, and Tiny Toons University Spring Break. The entirety of the original Looney Tunes is gone, and sadly, the entirety of the Looney Tunes show is gone. Which, real quick side note on the Looney Tunes show, this show needs to get a complete series box set on DVD. The entirety of the first season is available to own on DVD. I personally have it in my collection, but the second season has no way to watch it on home media. I know they're bringing it to Tubi so you can stream it on Tubi, but nevertheless, this show needs to get a full DVD box set as a home media release. Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated got one. Why can't the Looney Tunes show get one as well? But nevertheless, that's neither here nor there. All of these shows were removed off of Max, which was rather strange to be seeing that the Looney Tunes, I would argue that's probably the mascot of Warner Brothers. Honestly, Bugs Bunny and the Looney Tunes, that's their mascot. They're removing it off of their streaming service. Well, that's rather odd. Couple that with the fact that The Day the Earth Blew Up, the movie that's in theaters right now, was originally scrapped by Warner Brothers Discovery alongside Coyote vs. Acme and Bye Bye Bunny, the Looney Tunes musical that was going to come out. All three of those films were scrapped. They were all going to be used as tax write-off until Ketchup Entertainment, a small independent company, bought the rights to The Day the Earth Blew Up and released it a few weeks ago in theaters. Apparently, because of the success of that film, Coyote vs. Acme is now in negotiations to be sold to Ketchup Entertainment as well, to be released in theaters next year. And to top it all off, there's reports now that the reason why they're doing this is because they're preparing to sell the entirety of the Looney Tunes brand. This is according to Jeff Schneider. To me, this all seems really weird, right? I just don't really see the logic behind selling the entirety of the Looney Tunes, and just based on the rumors we had from last year, this doesn't really make that much sense to me from a timeline perspective. If you guys recall, there was a rumor that came out last year saying that the Looney Tunes was going to be completely relaunched, essentially a rebrand of the franchise in 2028 in theaters. Apparently, Warner Brothers Discovery had this grand plan for the Looney Tunes, and they were going to reveal it to us at some point over the next few years to debut it in 2028. Did that plan they were cooking to, rebrand the Looney Tunes, have it relaunch in 2028 in theaters with this grand plan they're cooking up, did all of that really go out the window in favor of selling off the entire brand? That would seem like a complete 180 from the direction that Warner Brothers Discovery was trying to head down. So that's why this report to me is met with confusion. I just don't necessarily understand the logic behind this. This is essentially your, brand's icon. Your brand image is the Looney Tunes. Like Warner Brothers, the first thing you think of is the Looney Tunes. That has been their brand image for years now, and essentially you're gonna sell that? I mean, what are you gonna do from there? What is your brand image going to be? I know lately there have been reports indicating that Warner Brothers Discovery wants to take a step back from kids animated content and they want to focus on adult and family content instead going forward. I don't really see why the Looney Tunes wouldn't be a part of that new plan. The Looney Tunes can be very adult oriented. I mean, look at the Looney Tunes show. I know it's not an adult animated series, but that show can be enjoyed by someone who's in their 50s or someone who's in grade school. That show is fantastic, and it is a show that can be enjoyed by anyone of all ages. Basically, what you're telling me here is the Looney Tunes don't fit into that plan, which to me doesn't make that much sense. There might be credibility to this report. This might be something that's being actively discussed behind the scenes because, like I said before, they sold the rights to The Day the Earth Blew Up. They're selling the rights to Coyote vs. Acme. They just took down the entirety of the original Looney Tunes from Max. The Looney Tunes show is gone. There's barely hardly any Looney Tunes even on the service anymore. So maybe they are planning to sell off the entire brand, but if they do, that's just a really bad idea, at least in my opinion. At that point, it's kind of just like, how much are you going to sell off from Warner Brothers Discovery if you're going to start selling off the Looney Tunes? Like, where does it end? Like, where do you draw the line? Does that mean Cartoon Network is next? Does that mean the Looney Tunes get sold first, and then all of a sudden they're looking for a buyer for the entirety of Cartoon Network and all of the properties that come attached to that? Like, where do you draw the line? Where does the kids animated content not being prioritized and sold off end? Does that mean you're going to pick and choose which franchises you're going to keep under the Cartoon Network umbrella, and then the rest of them you're going to sell off to the highest bidder? I feel like if they end up doing this, Warner Brothers Discovery is just going to end up being an empty skeleton with nothing really under it, nothing for them to really make and sell. And they are an entertainment company. What are they going to entertain us with if they decide to sell off all of their brands? Of course, for now, the report is just the Looney Tunes, but if they actually go through with this, I'm not going to be surprised if all of a sudden we start seeing more franchises get sold off by the company. And at that point, what's going to be left of Warner Brothers? What's going to be left of Warner Brothers Discovery? As to who could potentially buy this, that's where the point of intrigue comes in. Like, the first thing that popped into my head is Disney going to try to make a play at the Looney Tunes? Is Paramount going to make a play at the Looney Tunes? Is this company Ketchup Entertainment, who's been buying the rights to these films, do they have enough money to buy the Looney Tunes? I don't know, but it's going to be something very interesting to watch to see if this actually materializes over the next few years. I don't know what's going to happen here. In all honesty, I'm kind of taken aback by this report. At first, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, no way, they're not going to sell the Looney Tunes. This is probably some made-up report that is coming out there because they're selling off Coyote versus Acme. Then they sold off The Day the Earth Blew Up. But then as I'm looking more and more into this, this is actually something that's being discussed. This is something that might be happening. It could be a nothing burger. Nothing could come of this, but it's definitely something worth keeping an eye on, which is why I wanted to make this video today, just to get it out there that, hey, this is something that's being discussed right now. Whether it actually materializes into anything or not, whether this is actually a real thing that's going on behind the scenes, we don't know. But the fact that this is even out there in the public eye, the fact that, you know, not only this report's out there, but you look at what's happening with the Looney Tunes right now, the entirety of the original series and other shows are removed from Max. They sold off The Day the Earth Blew Up and it's been a massive hit. They're selling off Coyote versus Acme. They canceled Bye Bye Bunny as well, and maybe that film ends up getting sold to Ketchup Entertainment as well in the not too distant future. The fact that all of those things are happening, coupled with the new report that they're thinking of selling off the entire brand, the fact that they're, you know, no longer really prioritizing kids animated content at Warner Brothers Discovery, it's all kind of adding up that, hey, this might actually be a real report. This might actually be something that's happening behind the scenes right now. And again, time will tell. We're going to have to wait and see what comes of all of this. But at the end of the day, the last thing I want to say here, there have been reports and rumblings and rumors out there that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to try to sell itself off. Some sort of merger is going to happen. There was, what was it, a year plus ago, there was discussions that Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery might be having a merger. They were in discussions, or at least early talks of doing something like that. If you start to sell off your brands such as the Looney Tunes, what is going to be left of Warner Brothers Discovery that anybody would want to merge with you, right? If the Looney Tunes is gone, and then hypothetically speaking, let's say they start selling off some Cartoon Network brands, some Cartoon Network properties, then it's like, if you're a company like Paramount or any other company out there that was thinking of merging or buying out Warner Brothers Discovery, why would you do so if they have nothing left to actually market and to actually make new stuff out of? If all their major brands are gone, then what's the point of the company in the first place? Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about the fact that there's reports out there that Warner Brothers Discovery might be thinking of selling the entirety of the Looney Tunes? Do you think that's crazy like I do, or do you think this is actually something that makes sense for them to do? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.